Residents in Crooked Tree and even at San Lazaro are calling it a whirlwind, waterspout, and even a tornado. This footage provided to Love TV by Ryan Seeley shows the weather phenomenon making its way off the lagoon onto land. Residents were taken by complete surprise as they expected Tropical Storm Harvey to cause damages, if any, to the communities in the Stan Creek area. The winds hit the village at a little after 10 in the morning. Resident Yolanda Jones was among the many who witnessed its approach.
I was at my mother's house helping her with some cooking. Then first of all we heard this noise like and she looked through the door to the back, and over her house is by a pond, and over the pond we just saw this big funnel coming, and while it was coming it was just spinning a whole lot of stuff in the air.
Most people I'm talking to are describing it as a huge roar. Would you say it's...
Yes, that was something like that, a huge roar, like maybe a lot of big trucks coming or something like that.
Maurice Westby Jr. rushed to his parents' home, 84-year-old Maurice Westby Sr. and 87-year-old Emma Westby after hearing of the storm.
My mom said that they heard a noise this morning, and by the time she came to close the front door, she couldn't. The door of the veranda, she couldn't. And the wind blew her back into the house and things started flying. And then the wind got into the house and closed one of the doors by itself. And the roofing flew off in the back. The shed that they had out here, you can see all the zinc over the place. It said she knew from the time it hit that it was a whirlwind, that it was a tornado. He said, and as quick as it started, like 10 seconds, that was it. That quick. See, it separated the back piece there from the concrete structure. If you notice, the back piece is separated from the concrete structure. All the zinc off there, then they had an outdoor kitchen, all the zinc off that is gone.
A short distance away from the Westby home, 76-year-old Delverine Wade and her husband Irvin Wade were equally taken aback by the storm's sudden presence. Where were you when it started?
Right, standing right by this kitchen door, just going upstairs in my kitchen. And she too coming behind me, she was doing that and they coming upstairs. And she said, Miss Deli, some guys were passing on a little motorcycle there. And he said, Miss Deli, said, look there, what's coming? And we said, things flying, coming, limb and things. He said, what is that? What is that? I said, we don't know. The next thing, all the windows start flying open, everything started to come through my windows because when they close up, the house not close up. So everything started to fly through, past me. I had a hard time closing that door. Because
never had chance to close that?
No chance to do. I fight and I pull, and me and she. And the next thing I know, I boom! That's when the rooftop gone to the back. My vat, when I look, I hear break off, something fall and break the gas tank. Fall on the vat, break that, and look at the big fig tree. That's a history, that tree there. Must be hundreds and hundreds of years. When I hear the noise, I couldn't believe. You have me like this, you have me like whirlwind in the door.
At least 9 homes sustained considerable damage as a result of the tornado-like phenomenon. Zinc roofing of many houses were blown off the structures and landed several hundred yards away. We found this one wrapped neatly around one of the trees, and other pieces hanging from electrical wires. Many trees were broken and uprooted. The worst of it, though, was experienced by Mary Ocean and Edward Westby, who lost their home and most of their belongings. The couple, who were still in shock and preferred not to comment on camera, said they were in bed monitoring the storm on the radio when they heard a loud roar approaching. A few seconds later, one window was blown inside the house, and while Mrs. Ocean tried holding the window back in place, the entire wall to the back of the house came crashing down on her. The rest of the house crumbled on the couple. Fortunately, the couple did not sustain any physical injury but were considerably shaken. Residents say this is not the first time they experienced this kind of weather, but it was the first to cause this kind of damage. But was this a tornado? And was it as a result of Tropical Storm Harvey? Chief Meteorological Officer Dennis Gonges says he describes it as having tornado-like features, but it is not a tornado like those that hit the Midwestern United States.
If you consider a vortex such as when you pull the plug in your sink, you see the water circulating and going down, or when you flush the toilet, you see the water circulating and all the water coming to a point and going down. Well, it's the same situation with a tropical cyclone. It's a large vortex, a large circulation, and within that large circulation, there are smaller little circulations that contribute to the larger circulation. It's different from the tornadoes over the Midwestern United States. The tornadoes over the Midwestern United States are caused by warm air from the Gulf overriding cooler air over the continental United States, creating a little vortex too, a little vortex like that eventually turns and touch ground. Well, we didn't have the same situation with the tropical storm. We have smaller vortices one of those were forced down to the surface, and it manifested itself as a tornado-like structure. These downdrafts, they can be dangerous. Particularly for aviation, for example, aircraft flying in the vicinity of downdrafts. They have caused accidents in the past. So whenever there's a thunderstorm, for example, in this airport area, we usually warn pilots to be careful because those same downdrafts, they can be hazardous.
Gonges says that it is difficult to provide proper and timely warnings of possible formations like the one that hit these Crooked Tree residents.
It comes as a part of the warning system, the broader warning system. Instead of just giving an individual warning for tornadoes, we give a warning for the entire country for the tropical cyclone.
Similar reports were made of tornado-like formations in the Placencia area when Hurricane Iris hit Belize in October of 2001. Dalila Kyle for Love News.